amount of recovery in our markets, a hugely volatile session where we made it back to that 200 print for the Nifty futures, and similar was the price action for the Nifty spot as well. In fact, this morning you've got the Nifty implied open pretty much standing toe at that 22,200 print. But the global markets are in a bit of a pause mode, if you will. You've got Dow Jones, which has actually seen one of its first losses in about 9 sessions. All eyes now are, of course, on US inflation print. Futures are a little changed ahead of this macro data coming in. GameStop, AMC, they've actually managed to soar then a good 70% apiece, but that hasn't quite rubbed off on our markets, or rather on their markets. Asia as well, it's really all over the place. You can't really drop any trend, largely very, very quiet right now. So no global support, but to say that, we've not been following global cues in any case.
Okay, now let's look at yesterday's market in isolation. We are not discussing global cues at length because there is nothing which has come from the global setup, which in a sense will have an influence on our trade today. So I'm assuming that global cues, status quo, you don't want to spend too much of time discussing that because that is not relevant in the overall scheme of things for our market. So global cues, nothing on bond, nothing from Fed, nothing on crude, nothing is coming from Asia. So global cues, backseat. India, look at India VIX and the Nifty. Now, we did see a bout of short covering yesterday in our markets. But the two concerns or the three talking points which in a sense have broken the market rhythm is the spike in VIX, FI selling and event uncertainty. Unfortunately, 2 out of 3 concerns yesterday did not get addressed. Even though markets went up, VIX did not collapse and FIs were net big sellers in the cash market. So you want to argue back and say that yesterday's price action, was it just a one-day wonder or we are likely to build on that? For us to build on that, you need another strong bout of short covering and some more contra buying which could happen in the cash market. Minus that, to make a case that we are in for a good Tuesday after a comeback Monday may just be difficult. So you may start on a high note, you may start with a green tick and then you got to take it from there, because for me the 3 concerns, I will say them again: FI selling, event uncertainty and spike in VIX. None of those concerns for the moment are getting addressed. So after a comeback Monday from oversold conditions, are we likely to build on a Tuesday? It's a toss-up, Aisha, frankly.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of question marks as to whether or not what we witnessed yesterday is really going to sustain in terms of the market movement. And then add to that the fact that you have a little bit of an uncertain globe. All of that really adds to the mix. But let's also turn our attention then to what's going on the election front. Do remember that there has been a fairly encouraging voter turnout. And now as we're turning to phase 4, Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir, etc. And looking at the overall turnout as well, Nikunj, that is what the street as well is going to monitor to a certain extent.
Okay, now low voter turnout was a concern in the first phase. It got better in the second phase. It now seems to be getting better. In general, markets have been, again, these are all assumptions. None of these assumptions may actually play out in reality. But low voter turnout in the initial phases, in a sense, spooked the market. It made the market nervous. Now that the turnout at least is in and around the historical averages, is that something markets are likely to take heart from? Maybe yes. So yes, if low voter turnout was one concern why markets went out, then looks like at least that has got addressed in yesterday's polling, and that in a sense could be a relief. Is it good enough to turn the tide? I don't think so. But is it a narrative which, if you see a bout of short covering, if you see a collapse on volatility, could that really build up and give some ammunition to the bears? Maybe yes. So I would say that I don't think the bulls have an edge. The setup is such that bulls have been pushed into a corner and you need another strong Monday, another strong day like Monday for the bears in a sense to panic, or which could inject an element of short covering. So I don't think you can assume that after yesterday's price action, the bulls have a leg up or they've got the nose in the front. I think they are still on a back seat. Low voter turnout is a concern. Has that got addressed totally? Maybe yes, but it's difficult to. There's so many narratives in the market, Aisha, right now that you just cannot pinpoint. Okay, ABC, this happens, and this is the outcome. For me, the three concerns, I'll say it again: FI selling, election event uncertainty, and VIX spike. Those three concerns are still staring at you.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.